Hi, it's me Layla. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking about remote coherence healings, what has happened since I've had healings, and are they worth doing? So I'm going to talk a bit about that today. So I had my first remote healing around 9 weeks ago, and I've never been to a retreat with Dr. Joe Dispenza, so I've never had much to do with coherence healings or anything like that. I normally just meditate at home, so I meditate primarily with Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditations, but I felt that I needed a bit more help, so I decided I would sign up for a coherence healing. So I went on to Dr. Joe Dispenza's website and there was authorized and recognized groups. So I went into the authorized groups and I found a group on there who was based in Europe, which is my time zone. So I signed up with them and booked my first session. So I was quite fearful going into this because I hadn't really had much experience with coherence healing, only from what I'd seen on some of the testimonials from the retreats. And they seemed quite intense and quite extreme, that some of the reactions people had. So I was a bit hesitant, but my experience was really good. It was extremely positive. I felt huge amounts of love from the healers, and there was around 6 healies on the call. So at the time, my name was read with somebody else, so it was kind of a joint part of the session, and I just felt huge amounts of love, and it was just a lovely experience. For a few hours after that, I actually did experience a reduction in pain in the area that I had asked them to send the healing to. So that was really nice. And I felt it made me think, actually, this does work. And yeah, so I had that kind of reduction in pain, but unfortunately the pain did return. So I still carried on with my meditations, but I decided to book in for another healing because I still had the same symptoms that I'd signed up for the original healing for. So I wanted to go back for a healing. So you do need to leave about 3 weeks in between each session, and that's just to allow your body to recalibrate and also to get the full effects of the healing. So I left around 3 weeks and went in for my second healing. And this time I was way more relaxed, so I could definitely receive easier. And I think that's a big key to this, is that you need to be able to believe that the healing is possible and also be open to it. So be open to the fact that this can happen and that you can heal. So this time I was definitely more relaxed and also felt more at ease going in. So I felt once my name was called, I just felt extreme joy, extreme happiness and love again, which I remember thinking at the time, I've never felt like this in my own meditations. And I found myself comparing it to my own meditation practice as well. And again, it was just a lovely experience. And I think after that one, I did experience not so much a reduction in pain, but I definitely felt happier. I definitely felt a lightness in my mood in general. So it was like my mood was changing each time that I was getting a healing. As I said, however, though, my kind of symptoms that I hadn't had what I would call the full healing that I know some people experience, where just all their symptoms disappear. That hadn't happened. So I booked in for a third session. So again, leaving around 3 weeks in between. And that one, I decided I'm going all in on this one. I am completely surrendering. I am sick of all of this. I was kind of getting frustrated, I think, with the healing process, which I think is part of it and completely normal as well. And in this one, I went into it, yeah, completely surrendering. And it was an experience where I could just feel, again, this huge sense of love and lots of heat as well. So I had quite a lot of heat around me, that feeling. And I just felt a complete openness and a complete love that, again, I hadn't had in the other two. And it felt like each time within each healing, I was becoming more open and more able to receive, because actually being able to receive can be quite difficult because you have to be vulnerable and open enough to be able to do that, to then allow the healing to happen. So definitely on the third one, I felt right at the end, it actually felt like something was being zapped out of my body, is the only way I can describe it. I felt like something was being removed. It felt like just something was taken away. And that was a new experience because I'd also been meditating with the Blessing of the Energy Centers meditation on and off for around 2 years. So I was quite used to some of the sensations and some of the feelings that I would get with those meditations, but it was definitely on a different level with the coherence healing. I would say it was way more intense. There was way more love, and it just was, it felt like a divine experience, is the only way I can describe it. Whereas some of my meditations can feel very like I'm just going through the motions, and they're not always, that amazing. Some of them are just quite normal and boring. So, yeah, the coherence healings were a completely different experience, and that's why I wanted to do them, because I felt I needed an extra help with the work. And I think that's normal to feel that sometimes it's not, you can't do it all on your own. And I think some people do, and they can heal just with the meditations. But I felt for myself, I did need that extra help. So I would definitely recommend the coherence healings if you're struggling with a particular illness, or just you feel you've come a certain way to a certain point with your meditations and you need that extra external help. Then that's what I think they're great to just allow you to take that extra step in your healing. So I would definitely recommend them. And also, it was really easy to book and really easy. I just got a Zoom link and I clicked on there and just connected into this session. So it was all really straightforward, and it was all free because this is run by volunteers. So I've just felt extremely grateful that people would give up their time to help me and to help me heal. So yeah, definitely would highly recommend the coherence groups. So since my healings have happened, I've felt quite different in myself. And my last healing was a couple of weeks ago now. And I have had an increase in some symptoms that had kind of gone away a little bit. And I believe this is normal because of the healing process. And when you heal, actually, your cells can eradicate a lot of the junk that was in them. And along with that can come an increase in your symptoms. So apparently it's very normal to feel like that afterwards. And a lot of people can get the flu or come down with something soon after one of the Dr. Joe Dispenza retreats because of just the nature of how the body heals and how it needs to shed its old beliefs and old patterns. So I'm going to do another video on this in a few more weeks' time, when more time has passed, just to see if anything else did happen in my body. Did anything else shift in my health? I do still have some of the symptoms that I asked that I wanted to be healed, but I'm now just focusing back on my own meditation practice, focusing back on healing myself at home. And I know that ultimately I will completely heal myself using the meditations. So I hope that helped, and I hope you have an amazing day.